Material Science in Germany. Here are our guests. I will be introducing them separately when their presentation part will start. Before that, I want to remind you about 𝘱𝘕𝘊𝘳𝘳𝘳𝘳𝘕, which is Germany's largest study program database. This is the demo version of it that you see right now. In short, I want to say if you are planning to study in Germany, be it in English, partially English, or fully in German, then you are welcome to use a study finder, which has listed all the study programs available. And sometimes there can be, for example, a study program in English and Chinese, so you can filter all of those programs in the study finder, save them, and check out all the program relevant details in one place. So I will show you this as well. You can also check out our articles, and also today, in case you have questions about UniAssist scholarship or visa, most probably I will be referring you to our articles that are really comprehensive, also very detailed. Some of them could be also broad because about like studying masters in Germany, it will provide an overview. But visa questions are country specific, and lots of things are discussed there, and articles are translated into different languages, so may use advantage of this as well. We also have webinars. You are attending one of them, but we also have general webinars when we cover broader topics, for example, UniAssist, scholarship, visa, or studying in Germany in general. This week we have one about visa, so in case you want to know more how to apply, when to apply, what documents you need, feel free to join my colleague Oliver, and he will share with you all the details. The subject webinars are subject specific, so usually we expect people who are interested in those specific programs, especially or subjects, to be attending. But in case you want to check out different fields because you haven't decided yet what you want to study, then feel free to also register for other upcoming subject webinars. But material science is nothing. Only in July, once again, I'm not sure. So it's good that you are here today. Now, about our team. This is our team. We are still lacking two newcomers on pictures here. We are based in Germany, Hamburg, and we are counseling in different languages. And we're always very happy to share our insights on how it feels studying and living in Germany from international and also German perspective. Now, as I said, why you need a study finder. So first, maybe you want to know what kind of programs there are in material science. Therefore, you would go click on study finder and then search for a subject. When you search for material science, you see 128 degrees, which are English-only programs, and here is a breakdown. Of course, you are not checking 116 programs one by one, therefore you need filters. And those filters are very specific. For example, you already have IELTS or TOEFL and you are searching for specific programs that are accepting this scores, or you want to check programs that do not require work experience, or about location. I don't know, application, is it via UniAssist or without? Is there is NC or there is no NC? All of those filters, which can be combined, can be applied, and then you can sort programs according to, let's say, application deadline. And always, maybe you have a short list of 10, 15 programs, then you can favor them so that you don't miss out the documents that you need, also application deadline, and some facts about the program. So if you click on one of the profiles, you have a comprehensive list of career prospects, curriculum, sometimes testimonials, etc., etc. So it's really informative and everything in one place. Of course, you have a link to course page, which is like official course page, and then you can again double check everything if you want on the program page itself. In case you are not sure or hesitant do you want to study material science or in Germany or not? For you, we have subject pages. Those subject pages have description of the subject, and then there is a very interactive part which shows you some different graphs about tuition fees, general application admission requirements, language requirements, and those then you can already see, do you have enough qualification to apply to those programs or not? But again, please check each program individually because they have different application documents. Deadlines could vary as well. And also it's very important to decide on a program according to its content rather than just names or ranking. Now about university landscape in Germany. In Germany, there are universities and universities of applied sciences. And usually, like what we mentioned during the webinars, is that universities have programs that are more research and theory oriented, and universities of applied sciences usually offer programs that are more application and practice oriented. There were some differentiations about PhD possibilities, but they are no longer in place. And also advice is that feel free to start searching for programs by subject. Don't try to guess program names, because program names, for example, in material science could vary, and you will see today as well. Therefore, it's easier, so that you don't miss out on interesting programs, to start searching by subject and then narrow down your search according to some different aspects. All right, now let's go to Munich, because we have Professor Dr. 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘆, who will be talking about Master Engineering Paper Technology, a very interesting and specific program. Important is its application deadline 15th of July, and more details will be shared by Professor.
Thank you very much for your introduction, and I'm very happy that I can present you our master's program in paper technology at Munich University of Applied Science. Munich University is the second largest university of applied science in Germany, and we have over 100 different study programs, 16 different research institutes, and we are going to look into our different locations. We are in the center of Munich with our 3 locations, and actually the program what we are talking about here is sorry about that, is in Campus 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘆, where we are located here together with several other study programs. I'm gonna show you this. Basically, this picture here shows you this is our main entrance, and we are here in the faculty, which is called Technical Systems, Processes, and Communications. And within this faculty, we have different bachelor programs as well as master programs. And our presentation today will focus on paper technology. The master's is a Master's of Engineering, and we have a consecutive program, and we have a continuing education program. What you can see here is a picture of our graduates last summer, and you can see already that we have a very international group. Usually we have between 10 and 12 different nationalities in our master's program, and they come really from all over the world. And it's a very good opportunity to really learn about each other, have different social skills, but of course focus in depth on material science. In this case, we are talking about how to produce paper and board qualities, what kind of raw material you need, how do you prepare it, what are different resources, what you need, water, energy, etc. How do you do automation, how to produce it in a consistent way, and how do you test it? So today I brought you some general information about our program, and then we go in depth about the different detailed modules in the consecutive program as well into the continuing education program. And at the end, I'm gonna have some slides about living in Germany or living in Munich in particular, and how to apply for our master's degree. Well, if you're unsure if you want to study in Germany, and especially if you're unsure what you want to do, we are giving you some suggestions here in material science and engineering. And our students who are coming here, they don't have to really know about anything about paper and cardboard manufacturing. If we have a continuing education program, that means anyone who has any kind of engineering degree or chemistry degree, they can start in our program, and they get a depth insight in the most important topics all around the industrial sector. Our master's is completely taught in English, and the requirement is a B2 level of English. So our degree is a Master's of Engineering. It has been re-accredited again in summer 2023, so about 2 years ago. You have the choice of studying in a full-time version or as a part-time version. And you can see here that we have basically two different options: consecutive education, 3 semesters, and a continuing education, 4 semesters. So if you have already a Bachelor of Engineering in the field of paper technology, you can enter the consecutive education program. If you have in any kind of engineering background as a bachelor degree, you can join us in the continuing education program. Now, I'm focusing on the first version, which is the consecutive program, which means within 3 semesters or 90 ECTS, you can graduate as a full-time student. If you're a part-time student, of course, you have double the time. And this is only possible if you have already some experience in the field of paper technology. I'm going directly into the continuing education program, which is by far there are more students what we usually have. And it's a program which has a duration of 4 semesters. And if you're a full-time student, that means 30 ECTS per semester and 120 ECTS totally. It is for any kind of technical, engineering, or natural science bachelor students who do not have any experience in paper making. As it's a continuing education program, it requires that you have at least 1 year of working experience after your graduation as a bachelor. It requires tuition fee. This is 4,000 euros per semester as a full-time student. You can see here, this is the schedule of our master's program, 4 semesters. And you see here in the very first semester is basically the basics about paper technology. So you will see how to prepare the fibers, how to test them in paper physics. You will talk about minerals. In the second semester, then you focus on the process on how to make paper and how to convert it and improve it and get them special properties, for example, here in coating and barriers, so you can trim it to the actual application where it's used. One focus is here automation. Automation fundamentals and digitalization are basically engineering subjects in order to have a smooth run on a paper machine. And in order to prepare you for scientific analysis and research, you have here an extra class in statistics, design of experiments, but also in scientific writing and chemical engineering. The practical research training is a module which is really focusing on the continuing education program students. Here you really learn how to do in-depth research topics and get a good insight into different parts. With the electives, you have the choice of different kinds of electives. You can focus on tissue, for example, but you can also on how to apply patterns, or, for example, in the field of clothing on a paper machine. What you see here on the right, this is a picture of one of our master students group. And the unique thing is that we have a very good network with our industry. So our students usually go several times in a semester for excursions, and they get to know the paper industry. They get to know different engineers working there and get in contact with them and see what kind of jobs are available and what they do when they are done with their master's degree. And in addition, we also have a lot of experts coming in every semester. Usually about 10 different subjects will be presented, and this is organized by our student group. So as an academic advisor, I have two colleagues, Professor 𝘱𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘨 as well as Professor 𝘈𝘠𝘂𝘓𝑚𝑎𝑡𝑡𝑟𝑎𝑛𝑎, and we are basically the academic advisors. But in addition, we have several experts coming from the industry who bring their in-depth applied knowledge to your students and give you a good insight in how to use it later on in your job. I have here a few pictures as lab impressions. Now you can see we have a focus on chemistry part, so wet-end chemistry, so we can see how fibers are produced and how you can qualify them and analyze them and categorize them. You will see paper testing in our climate room. You can see here different possibilities that we have. Scanning electron microscope, we can measure fiber morphology as well as different kind of microscopic pictures. But we also have a good stock preparation area. So you can see here on the right, we have really pilot plant scale equipment. Here you can see a refining device where you can run big batches and prepare them in order to have a coated material or to produce your own paper on our little pilot plant paper machine. Yeah, this one is used every winter semester for our master students. They have then their project to produce our Christmas cards. For that, they get two different samples, and then they have to go into the lab and analyze them, what kind of materials they need, what kind of fibers, what kind of dyes, what kind of wet-end chemicals. And then they do pre-trials in the lab. And after that, they come with a recipe and go to the little paper machine and produce the Christmas cards, which we send out to our industry network. Study and life in Munich. We know that Munich is not that easy to find an apartment or a room to live in. Therefore, we have a contract with the Studentenwerk in Munich. They run student housing, and our students will get a room in the student housing for the first year. So semester 1 and 2, they can have a room here in the student housing. And when they are here already, they get to know all the other students, and usually then it's easier to find a room somewhere else. Admission requirements. So you need a bachelor degree, either in engineering or in science, and a GPA of good. That means 2.5 or better. If you have a GPA between 2.6 and 3.0, we have usually a interview, an aptitude test, and we will talk about the different subjects and get to know you and see if you are a good candidate for our program. In addition, you need, of course, English proficiency level of B2, which is basically possible to do a TOEFL test or an IELTS test. Or if your bachelor program is already taught in English, then this is, of course, also approved for your English proficiency. And since it's a continuing education program, at least 1 year of professional experience after your bachelor degree. So then you can apply for our master program in paper technology. If you want to see what kind of costs are coming up, well, of course, you have on the one side the tuition, which is in per semester 4,000 euros. For a monthly rent, usually you need about 300 to 500 euros in Munich. Sometimes we have well, we do have student housing for paper technology students for a limited number of rooms for the first and the second semester. Our main contact for that is Miss Nina Core. Here's her email, core@ivp.org, which is basically our institute here, and she is helping you with all the different application procedures. And if you have any questions, you can always contact her. So, some facts at the end. This is a master degree, a Master of Engineering. You have two choices. You can study in a consecutive program, so meaning you have already a paper degree as a bachelor degree for 3 semesters as a full-time student, Or if you have a different kind of engineering degree, you can study here in a continuing education program 4 semester as a full-time student. At the moment, you can apply for our upcoming winter semester, which will start on October 1st, 2025. And this is for the consecutive as well as the continuing education students. The application is usually run by our website, which is hm.edu/Bewerbung, which means application. But you can always send us first all your documentation, and we can pre-check them and give you an idea already if there is something missing or if you are suitable to register here or to apply here for a student in the program. And of course, it's an accredited program by CEWA. Okay, we have 2 links here. One is on LinkedIn. So if you want to follow us on LinkedIn, visually we talk about all the different experiences. If you go out for any kind of conference or for an exhibition, and you can see what's happening in our daily life. And we also have a few pictures published on Instagram where you can see most of the time in kind of photos from our labs or from our students, what they are doing. So, okay, so I'm already by the end. If you have any other questions, please let me know if I can help you. And I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, for all the details you provided. It was indeed really interesting. And dear attendees, now I would like to ask for your attention in chat, because Professor mentioned also GPA, which is in German system. And in case you want to calculate what it is for your current score right now, you can use a link from TUM, which is a GPA calculator. And you can already see where your GPA stands in German system. The application portal link and Nina Kua's email are both in chat. Feel free to also save them. If you don't do it, I will still follow you with the follow-up email, and you can still have it in one place later. Now, everybody, we have a second presentation from University of Bayreuth, Digitalization, Sustainability in Material Science and Engineering. I'm happy to have Annalena Pongratz here presenting the program. For this program, you have 2 application deadlines, which is also important. So I go behind it.
Let's start with the MSc Digitalization and Sustainability in Material Science and Engineering, in short DSMSC, which is taught in the University of Bayreuth, Germany. So, Bayreuth is like a small to medium town in the north of Bavaria, which has a population of around 75,000 people, where 11,800 people are students and over 2,000 are international students. The campus is situated directly in the circle shown, which is close to the city center. It's about 8 minutes by bike, which is like a general rule for Bayreuth. 8 to 10 minutes per bike, you can get mostly everywhere. For the University of Bayreuth itself, it's a campus university, so everything is on campus. The foundation year is 1975, so it's a really young university. We have around 280 professors with 43 international professors. As already mentioned, around 12,000 students. From the students, around 1,300 people do a PhD study here right now, and 315 of them are international. And other than that, we have around 2,600 people more working in the university as for technicians or like some stuff for the cafeteria or something like this. The tuition for the University of Bayreuth is around 160 euros per semester for all degree programs. Coming to the rankings, the World University Ranking of 2025 rated the University of Bayreuth in the top 11% of the over 2,100 universities that were ranked, so quite high. Then, as already mentioned, the University of Bayreuth is a relatively young university. And within those young universities, there is a second ranking, where the University of Bayreuth had the 38th place out of 670 universities. Within the Humboldt ranking that only ranks German universities, we had the 21st place with the first place in life sciences. And as also the opinion of students is really important to the study programs in the University of Bayreuth, we also included the study check and the digital campus index here. The study checks shows that over 80,000 students rated the University of Bayreuth with really good grades. We ranked number 8 in Germany in student sufficiency. For the Digital Campus Index, this shows an overview of the student satisfaction, especially with digitalization at the university. For example, regarding the quality of digitalization in lectures, in equipment, in administration, and in other important areas. We are the first ranked university in Germany. So digitalization is not only important to us in this degree program, but in general. Just a quick overview of the University of Bayreuth. As already mentioned, we have a campus university, so everything is at one place. We have 7 faculties. The DSMSE program will be situated in the 6th faculty and the engineering science faculty, which is on the side of the campus here. Other than that, we have the faculty 1, comprising mathematics, physics, and computer science. Faculty 2, biology, chemistry, and geosciences, where you can also, in both of these faculties, you can take modules within the degree program if you are interested in doing so. We have faculty 3, which comprises law and economic studies. Faculty 4 with language and literature sciences. Faculty 5 with cultural sciences, and faculty 7 with life sciences, including nutrition, food, and health. As we have our campus university, we have a cafeteria on the campus providing all students and other staff with food every day, which is quite convenient. The profile fields of the University of Bayreuth can be split in 3 bigger parts. The most important part for DSMSE will be natural and engineering sciences. Here we focus on high pressure and high temperature research, on new materials, which is also the focus area of the master DSMSE, as well as on energy research and energy technology, nonlinear dynamics, polymer and colloid chemistry, so meaning plastic products, ecology and environmental research, which is also really important for the new master program, as well as molecular biosciences. The other 2 research fields are not so important for DSMSE, so I will skip them. So coming to the program itself. As already mentioned, we are part of the engineering science faculty. With studying DSMSE, you will get a Master of Science at the end. Start of study can be summer or winter term, whereby the application deadline for the winter term is the 15th of June, and for the summer term, the 15th of January. The language of instruction is English, and our target audience for applications are students coming from an engineering or natural science background. You should have knowledge in mathematical, scientific, and engineering skills. I will provide further details on that shortly. The mode of study is only full-time students, and the duration of study is 4 semesters in total. So why should you want to study DSMSE? DSMSE combines traditional material science with the emerging fields of sustainability and digitalization. By getting all that information from all those areas, you will be able to have a holistic understanding of these areas, making sure that you can rethink sustainability demands on material science and apply digitalization methods to have a faster and accelerated development of new processes and materials, which is important in times right now where we need to find solutions to, for example, pressing issues as climate change. What we want you to know after you study DSMSE are the following points. We want you to have an interdisciplinary understanding in the fields of sustainability, digitalization, and material science. This means that we want you to have knowledge of materials and technology development for sustainable applications. That you can have a knowledge of application of digital methods on the material development, knowledge of concepts for substituting existing non-sustainable materials into more environmentally friendly solutions, that you can evaluate existing circular economy concepts and create new ones, that you can perform actions according to the sustainability principles, considering the economic and material-related framework conditions, and that you can be an ambassador for fact and data-based sustainability discussions in society. Coming to the module structure. The DSMSE study is clustered into 3 bigger fields, where for the basics per field aimed for you to get like a similar understanding, that every student gets a similar understanding of important topics like material science, digitalization, and sustainability. Looking into that further, we have 4 parts of that basic structure. The first one is a lecture series called Connected Knowledge in Material Science. This lecture series aims that every student has the same knowledge base in the field of material science. So basically stuff you should know from your bachelor's degree. And as we cannot make sure that every bachelor tells you the same, we try to align your knowledge with this module, which is of course compulsory. Then within the material science module cluster, you can choose 3 to 5 modules according to your interests. This can be in the topics of metallic materials, ceramics, functional materials, for example, batteries, biomaterials, biopolymers, and of course, biopolymers itself. You can completely freely choose what you want to listen to here. There is like over 8 lectures you can choose from. You just need to fulfill the 3 required modules. The informatics module and the sustainability modules are compulsory modules, so you would need to take every lectures that are in these modules, which are 2 in every case. For the informatics module, this will be Python and machine learning basics, as well as basics of numerical methods and applied statistics. In the sustainability module, you will get fundamentals of carbon and life cycle assessment and fundamentals of environmental and resource technology. After completing the basics per field, you will be able to deepen your knowledge in the combined fields that are clustered in the 3 different subgroups: sustainable application and processes from materials, circular economy and sustainable raw materials, as well as digitalization and material science. From these 3 clusters, you have to pick 5 modules according to your interests, with at least 1 module from each field. You can also, or you have to do 2 research modules within the advanced module, which will get you 6 CPS from either of the faculties engineering science, mathematics or physics, or chemistry and biology. You can choose the topic from a department where you want to go to. However, the topic must be related to sustainability or digitalization in material science. Within the module, you will be able to follow our PhD students on their work and really get a deeper knowledge on what you can learn here. And also, this can be like first insight into a possible master's topic. The last field is the individual field, where here also the research modules are listed. Other than that, you have the individual knowledge development, social, economic, and legal aspects of sustainability, and the master thesis. Within the individual knowledge development, you can choose one module with at least 5 credit points related to DSMSE topic, so meaning sustainability and or digitalization and or material science from any other master program in the University of Bayreuth. So really letting you choosing what you want to look deeper into. Other than that, we want you to have some knowledge on the social, economic, and legal aspects of sustainability. For that, you will get an introduction to entrepreneurship and management, where you can choose one module from currently 5 modules that are offered. And the last topic will be the master thesis, which you can also do in Faculty 6 with the co-supervision of Faculty 1, Faculty 2, or Faculty 6. So again, engineering sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, informatics in this kind of field. The admission requirements for DSMSE are as follows. We want you to have a bachelor degree equivalent to an engineering or material science degree program of the University of Bayreuth. This means that you would need a minimum of 12 credit points in mathematics-related fields, for example, numerical mathematics or statistics, 15 credit points in natural sciences, for example, physics, chemistry, or biology, and 20 credit points in material science or engineering fundamentals, for example, materials engineering, mechanics, thermodynamics, process engineering, and stuff like that. For language requirements, you would need at least English B2 level, equivalent to an IELTS of 6.5 or higher, and a German language requirement of A1, which can be obtained during the first year of the program. So this has not been finished during the time of your admission. Important admission documents are a VPD from UniAssist that was issued for the University of Bayreuth, a CV, the language certificate in English, your passport, a transcript of records of your bachelor studies, as well as a motivational letter, no longer than 2 pages, that also includes course-specific competences of you. Further information on for example, on the DSMSE structure, on admission or general information can be found at our homepage with the link provided here. A comprehensive guide and all required documents for application can be found under the second link. And further information for international students for the University of Bayreuth as a whole can be found in the last link. You can also find some interesting information and follow-ups on the links provided, for example, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And also we have a YouTube channel, so check out the links if you want to have further information. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Annalena, for all the details you provided and for mentioning like further contact details and also the links, which are also in chat, dear attendees, if you want to check them. Now, before we start with a broader Q&A, since Annalena, you are still here, I want to double check regarding the tuition. So there was a question, what is a total fees for DSMSE? And I wrote that there are no tuitions, only semester contribution, which is around 150 euros. Could you please confirm or correct me?
Yes, it's correct. It's the same tuition for all degree programs in the University of Bayreuth.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Great. Now you can stop the screen share and we start the bit larger round of Q&A. Thank you, Professor Kohl, for taking questions already in written. I will still voice some of them, but yeah, it's also nice to have your like personal answer from a professor in Q&A. All right, so let's start with the questions that came during Annalena's, which you are trying to answer in written, but I will interrupt you here because let's voice it. At the University of Bayreuth, are courses mostly theoretical lectures or are they project-based and problem-solving oriented?
Most of the lectures contain internships or practical courses where you will work at topics from PhD students in the University of Bayreuth, so directly working on solving current issues. So we will have definitely project-based and problem-solving oriented lectures.
Thank you. Another question is about PhD position. So let's start with Professor and then we can continue with Annalena. Do you have open PhD positions? Is it possible to continue further staying in academia after finalizing your programs?
You mentioned in your introductory presentation that only a few.
The voice is very low.
Just a second.
I think the mic is up.
Okay, thank you very much for this.
Okay.
You mentioned in your introductory presentation that only a few universities of applied science have the possibility to a PhD. This is correct. We are lucky because we have really the PhD program in material science together with the Hochschule at Regensburg. It's a combination between those two locations. So our master students are able or can do a PhD right in continuing process. At the moment, we have 5 PhD students in our program.
Can you follow up, Annalena, regarding Bayreuth University and PhD possibilities there?
Yes, of course, we have open PhD positions. As already mentioned, we have over 1,400 doctoral students right now. You can do your doctoral studies right after the master degree, and we have over like 15 to 20 departments to choose from when you finish the DSMSE program.
Thank you very much, dear Akin. Maybe I can also follow up here. So in Germany with PhDs, it's you need to like check if the professor has opened a PhD position, or maybe there are PhD positions at research centers. So it's always nice to be part of the university, get to know people, and then you can already follow up with a PhD. And PhD is considered as a job, so you are employed then by the university, and you will also so the procedure is a bit different. Therefore, first you need to be part of the university. All right. Hello, Ms. Pongatz. Is there any coding or data analysis involved in the program? Will I be expected to already have experience in that?
Yes, the program is circled about digitalization. Of course, there will be coding and data analysis involved. But we have the basic module informatics where you will get the basics in machine learning, the basics in Python scripting, and the basics in the mathematics behind that. So you will not be expected to be a full expert in that field. If you bring some prior knowledge, that's of course beneficial.
Now let's tackle English language, which was mentioned by Professor. I think if the previous studies were fully in English, but maybe it's more like strong to hear it from Professor herself. I had my studies in English. Is English language requirement waived?
Yes, it is.
So, is it the same with you, Annalena?
No, not exactly. We can only accept like proficiency letters from some countries. You can find further information on our website here. For the countries where we don't accept it, it's the B2 IELTS certificate.
Wonderful, thank you. If one wants to collect experience through student jobs during the studies and because of that wants to prolong studies by 1 or 2 semesters, is it allowed in Germany? Professor Kroll?
Yes, it is. So you can do, you can work in between, you can do voluntary internships if you want to. You can also switch between full-time and part-time student. So if you need to work to get enough financial support, it is always possible to have a student job here, or you can work somewhere in a different organization and combine study and work or getting experience at the same time.
And then do you have any restrictions on how maximum amount of semesters the studies can be extended?
1 or 2 semesters more is no problem, of course. You can work,
Okay.
that's no.
Thank you. Dear Kula, I would also follow up here. As an international student, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week during the semester, and you can do 40 hours a week, or you can do 40 hours per week during this semester break. So once you register as a student in Germany, you will receive a special paper to that 𝘱𝘓, which will explicitly mention where you are studying and what kind of rights you have to work. So don't exceed this limit, because as an international and as an enrolled student, your primary concentration should be on studies, but you can of course do additional internships or student jobs, which are usually part-time, up to 20 hours a week. So the university names are all in chat, dear Akin. If you scroll my chat, you can see we are having Munich University of Applied Science and University of Bayreuth. I will again post it in chat, but yeah, it is already there. Do you offer online part-time study options, Professor Kroll? Or maybe if somebody is late for a semester start due to visa, can he or she start online?
Yes, but that's what we usually do. We do hybrid classes because we know that the visa application is difficult sometimes, and sometimes you have to wait for many weeks in order to get your visa. And usually we offer all our lectures in a hybrid form, so you can attend online. The only time you have to be in Munich is when you do the lab experiments. And if we know that people are coming late, we are trying to adjust our schedule in such a way that you can participate, for example, at the end of one semester and do then all your lab experiments.
Thank you. Annalena?
For our lectures, you would need to be on campus. There are lectures which are online, but this is the minority. We want you to get to know the other students, connect with them, and also throughout the semester, there will be a lot of internships where you also have to be on campus.
There was a question about VPD. So for Munich, VPD is not mandatory. For Bayreuth, it's mandatory. You need to have it before the application deadline. Therefore, make sure that you apply to UniAssist to get this VPD enough early, because it takes around 6 weeks to have this document. It will be a PDF, which is valid for 1 year. And since the university or the program has 2 intakes, in case something happened and you can get it right now. It will be also valid for the next application deadline. So this way you are not like losing your money, so to say, because you need to pay for VPD to UniAssist. Professor, there was a question about the content that you already answered, but maybe somebody also has the same inquiry. Are there bridging modules or preparatory courses for students from non-engineering background like chemistry?
Okay, if somebody has a chemistry background, well, usually for automation and digitalization, as well as for chemical engineering, usually we have like background reading. Most of our students rather have problems with chemistry because they come from engineering part, and there we have kind of an introductory into chemistry and what's important for them to know. Sometimes we don't have like really a bridging class in between, but we can try to support them and see if we can match them with other students to get kind of a better insight into the different topics.
Mhm. Thank you very much. And the last question for today is from 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘳𝘳, which is broader, not related to this subject, which is about PhD and to have to schedule a meeting to discuss this. So here at 𝘱𝘱𝘳𝘳, we in my German university don't do one-to-one counseling. If you want to have like general information about PhD, how to study it, or how it usually works, you need to join a webinar studying in Germany, which will be also held in April. But we don't do one-to-one counseling. As for the costs involved, just briefly to mention, PhD is a position, so you will be paid. And you can also apply for scholarship. For example, 𝘸𝘪𝘵 has PhD grants available, and you can apply for that. And additional costs, so in case you have a full scholarship, then there are no additional costs, unless, like, it also depends on your spendings, right? What kind of lifestyle you have, etc. And then in case it's already as part of position, then it will be paid. So again, there are no additional costs, but you need to check what kind of professor, like in which subject you want to do a PhD and what kind of positions are open. But there is no database. You need to search it from the university or from faculty to faculty. Great. I see no more open